What? Euron Greyjoy is a Valonqar? No, wait. Mayhaps it's Edmure Tully. Hands off the thumbs down button. Let's look at some of the evidence. Everyone knows Maggie the Frog's Valonqar prophecy and Cersei's belief that the culprit is little brother Tyrion. We also all have our own beliefs about Sir Jaime, and that surely he is Cersei's Valonqar. Despite being her lover, despite being the one who came into the world holding her foot. But neither of these beliefs are coconut enough for us here at Septa Shaena Productions. So today, we present alternative, yet quality tinfoil, from two YouTube giants. The format will be a professional wrestling match. So, with much further ado, the Little Brother Z Valonqar Theory Battle. Oh, and stay tuned at the end for a little sigil puzzle. In the white trunks with silver skies, from the promised land, Bartube. You probably know Bartube for the more interesting, yet lesser known evidence she presents for theories like Robb Stark, the true bastard of Winterfell. Suffice to say, she's always a close reader of the text. Her Valonqar theory has Edmure wrapping his hands around Cersei's pale white neck. And in the black and white, from the original mob town, it's true, it's Grey Area. Check out her work on Myth in A Song of Ice and Fire. A link is in the description below. Shaena really digs her satires about Norse mythology. While less revengeful than Bartube's theory, it's definitely more salacious. Grey Area's Valonqar theory has Euron drowning and choking our lioness. Alright, judges, it's time for round one. Now before you find the upcoming evidence wanting, weigh it against actual evidence that supports your choice for Valonqar. But don't focus on debates about the gender of the Valonqar or how many hands he has. And keep in mind that means and opportunity arguments are all circumstantial. We could debate for days if Edmure could actually escape his oubliette at Castle Rock, or if Euron will actually marry Cersei. Our fighters today mostly want to look directly at the prophecy's wording. Let's get ready to rumble. From Feast for Crows, Cersei 8. And when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life from you. First, let's look at the word Valonqar. In Cersei's very next chapter, we learn that it is High Valyrian for little brother. For those supporting a Euron conclusion, the use of High Valyrian brings to mind a man who has traveled to Valyria, a man with the dragon egg, the smoking horn, and fancy Valyrian armor. We get a more subtle spin from the Edmure crowd. They argue our story is about the Starks and the Lannisters. A large portion of the story is told by the matriarchs of these families, Cat and Cersei. Now ask yourself, if it is a quote about the little brother, from Cersei's perspective, isn't this Edmure? Now, turning to the pale white throat text. In Clash of Kings, Catelyn 5, Cat dreams of, quote, wrapping my hands around Cersei Lannister's white throat. And interestingly, later in the very same chapter, she thinks of Edmure, quote, he would always be her little brother. I think this chapter is the crux of the Edmure crowd's argument. For Euron, we have to stretch a bit more to find a hands and paleness connection. But for what it is worth, the upcoming quote is likely describing either Melisandre or Cersei. From the Winds of Winter, Aeron, quote, Euron was no longer human. Beside him stood a shadow in woman's form, long and tall and terrible, her hands alive with a pale white fire. Last, but not least, the Valonqar prophecy contains the word drowned. Now I know Euron does not particularly follow the drowned god, but the Ironborn more generally do, and its use in a prophecy should be telling in some regard. I think Tony Teflon is in Grey Area's corner on this one. He talked a bit recently about the notion of sins of the father revisited on the children, and he noted how Tywin is proud of drowning the Rain family. So which do you favor, the Edmure theory, because Cat dreams of choking Cersei's pale neck, and talks about her little brother? Or the Euron theory, with his Valyria ties, Aeron's woman dream, and ties to drowning? Vote in the poll by clicking the I in the top left. Okay, on to the puzzle. Today's puzzle is Bartub's white trunks with silver skies. Why have they been chosen for her? If anyone puts the answer in the comments, I'll try to squeak them out in an upcoming video. Thumbs up for Edmure's Oubliette. And from the shoulders of giants, for Septa Shaena Productions, Sir Steffon out.